All right, so we're joined from Boston, Massachusetts, by my friend, the newly minted doctor of dental medicine, Dr. Anshelle Tucker, graduate of Tufts University Dental School, originally from Las Vegas, and then went to Prairie View A&M. We know we're Jackson State country. That's the SWAC, and then was right around the corner here at Mississippi College before she went up to Tufts to finish her dental degree. Owner of Reen Remedy. I've got a room full here with me at Velma Jackson High School. This is for our entrepreneurship class. We're recording this for our friends at Germantown High School, Ridgeland High School, and our YouTube channel. So as always, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so we know you're a dentist, but take us through your education background because it is quite interesting starting out in Vegas and then ending up on the East Coast to where you are now.
Yeah, so once again, I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I was born and raised there, finished high school there, went to Prairie View A&M for undergrad. I studied biology and chemistry. And then I went to Marquette for a little bit. I did a program there. And then what was next? Mississippi College for my master's in biomedical science. And then I moved to Boston to go to Tufts. And then now I practice dentistry here.
Wow, and that's just so cool. But all the while, you've been running a successful small business, Reen Remedy, that I am a customer of and can attest that it is a great product. So tell us about Reen Remedy. And your website is really grown just in the last few months, added some new products. Look, so tell us about Reen Remedy and where you got the idea from and why it's so important.
So Reen Remedy came from, sorry, my dog is here. Reen Remedy came from the idea of wanting to make the outside of the mouth healthy because I was also focused on the inside of the mouth, and I just wanted to focus on overall health, making sure that we had something healthy to put on our lips and on our body. So I do have body products as well. And just bringing it back to the basics. We have so many natural things that are really, really good for our lips, and all the preservatives that are unhealthy. I kind of got rid of those things and just got back to the basics and came up with my product.
Yeah, and everything is made with natural ingredients. You really push the fact about the health of it, for skincare. It takes out the toxic things that we see in other products because I was telling the kids, you use your dental background to solve an additional problem and create a profit because there's been a lot of people don't understand your lips is part of your skin and it's one of the most sensitive parts of your skin. So it really takes a good product, especially down here where it's so hot, but also in cold areas. It is something how lip care is going to be in demand no matter what type of climate you're in.
Absolutely.
Now, and something else that you do on there that I really like is you had different packaging. You really went out of your way to have an elaborate package. You offer package deals on holidays. Back when I actually had a woman, I bought one of your gift packets for her, and she was very impressed by it. And I know we talked about this before, but the common mistake I see with so many young entrepreneurs, and especially young Black entrepreneurs, is immediately they're not charging enough. And they may even do something a little extra, but they're still not charging enough. But having that packaging and having the cool tubes and the bags and the logo, the professional website, all that adds perceived value that allows you to charge more. So talk about how all that works because it really is an interesting process.
I probably should be charging more, but I wanted to keep it affordable. It's something that I enjoy doing, and I don't want to overcharge people for getting, something that I feel like they need, something that's necessary. So I just I don't know, and I find cool ways to do it, like the bamboo, using bamboo tubes and just really creating a quality product. But you also have to present things well, and we're in a stage in life and in society that presentation matters.
Yep.
I didn't come with some little plastic tubes. I didn't want to come with, you have to come correct when you're doing things like this. So I definitely am all about presentation. I'm also a diva. So if I pull out something, it needs to look like something.
Yeah, and also in the age of social media, if you want somebody to if you want an influencer to get a hold of it, it's going to have the look of a social media darling. So
Yeah,
having
for sure.
having the plain Carmex box, even though that may be a good product, it's not going to have the same snowball effect on social media.
Yeah, definitely.
Now tell us about your, you don't have to give too much away, but tell us about your creation process, because I had some questions myself on, how do you, how'd you come up with the idea of the science behind the creating of the products?
So I also, a part of my degree is chemistry. So I've been mixing things and creating my own things for as long as I could remember. I just didn't make it mainstream. And I eventually wanted to do this later in life and sell, my products at my practice because I saw a need for some. Wake up.
Oh, I'm coughing.
Oh, okay, just kidding. But I just saw like a need for it and kind of went from there.
Yeah. Now, and you mentioned your practice, and we'll get back to
Mhm.
Reen in a second, but
Yeah.
we've had other medical professionals in this class before, and they all kind of say the same thing. When I was in med school or dental school, I learned all about how to take care of a patient. I learned all about all the science. I learned all about teeth care, patient care, uh, prescriptions, the whole shooting match, but nobody told me how to run a business.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I think, if somebody wants to get into the healthcare field, running a small business on the side can be very beneficial, because even though it is two completely different businesses, a lot of the same principles are going to be used in both of them. Now,
Mhm,
obviously, you can operate Reen Remedy without a ton of employees, so you don't have to do the people management
mhm.
in that respect. But, and how was that really translated into running a dental practice?
Oh, they're totally different. Totally different. Serene Remedy, both are fun. I won't say I don't have fun at work and I don't have fun running a practice. It's just a lot more legal obligation and certain things that suck the fun out of running a practice sometimes. And I have to be very careful, and I'm licensed, and I have to be mindful of things like that. Reen Remedy I can have like a little more fun with. I can give more away. I also give back to like more communities with doing Reen Remedy with with profits from it, and I'm able to donate. And just back to your last question, because I like completely forgot the ending. It just mixing different products. It was definitely trial and error, and like starting a business is very, very expensive. So it took like a lot of, like I said, trial and error, mixing this amount of this amount of this. It's like I had like science experiments. My kitchen was a mess. Everything was a mess. Like I'm writing down different formulas. Like it took a while, a lot of testing, a lot of sending things out in order to come up with that perfect product. And then once my mix was right and I had it and I was able to do it over and over again, that's like where I was like, okay, now it's time. But it's a lot of time and effort and money before then.
Yeah, and one thing you do also a great job of is you have a mixture of genders on your website, so you show that your products can be used by anybody. Because, like I said, I use your products and I've been very happy with it. Now something you started that I noticed, because I might have to do this. You now offer a subscription service. Uh,
Mhm.
it locks somebody in to always have it shipped, but it also saves the money. I thought that was a great idea. Um,
Yeah.
because it does create, it takes the onus off of the customer to remember to say, hey, I need to buy some. So
Mhm.
so talk about how that came to pass, because that is something pretty new that you've offered.
Um, I had people that were coming like regularly. And then for those, I guess almost like a loyalty program. Like even when you buy from me, if people paid attention, the thank you card also has like a different like discount code. So it's always just trying to, you always want people to return to the business and you want to thank them for coming and thank them for being there. So that's kind of how I started. I see that like certain people were ordering like the four set, the set of two over and over. I'm like, okay, well, it's kind of a lot to remember certain things like that. Like when I'm on Amazon, I have plenty of things that I just subscribe and save, subscribe and save. So why not implement it in my business? And it's been working. I definitely have like a list of people that it's just like automatic,
Oh,
and
that's
it's nice.
awesome. Now,
Yeah.
but the only issue with that is that it takes the onus off the customer, but it puts the onus on you, because you have to keep up with it. keep up with a subscription?
Well, not really. It'll pop up for me in the timing like a new order. So
Wow.
it's very, very simple, especially when you have I run my business through Shopify.
Okay.
I have, what is it? Etsy store as well. So I don't do the subscribe and save through Etsy, but through Shopify it's very, very simple. It's like, okay, this subscription is time, so it's like a new order.
Well, and that's a good point too, because another mistake I see people make is they want to do everything themselves. Um,
Mhm.
there are a lot of small businesses that help small businesses. There's a lot of computer programs that help small businesses, and people want to cut costs so bad because they're trying to stay afloat. But it could cost you more money not taking advantage of these services and these other businesses that are there to help you.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, Now, what is and I guess when it comes to both businesses, what are the things that you do to stand out from other competitors? Because obviously, in a big market like Boston, there's got to be 1,000 dentists, and there's also a ton of people selling what you sell on Reen Remedy. So,
Mhm.
how do you set yourself apart to stay competitive in competitive markets?
Um, with with dentistry, like you said, there are 1,000 dentists in the same area, but I think it's about the way you make people feel.
Yeah.
Every time they come into the practice, like I'm welcoming, I'm also stern. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need. And it's all out of love. And I think people can feel that. Like, even if I'm giving you something that you think is terrible, you're not happy to hear, like it's out of love. And I'm gonna make sure that you know it's out of love. And I'm here to take care of you. I'm here to keep you healthy because I I care. It's, and you can't fake that. People can read through the BS all day, every day, especially in a place, as rough as this. Like Boston is pretty rough. There's no like Southern hospitality. There's no sweetness a lot of time, but just coming off being genuine, being myself. And I'm a little ball of energy at work. I sing to the people all day. I ask what music requests they have while they're in the chair. Like we have a good time, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna make sure of it while you're in there. So just creating a unique experience for people. And then with the business, just packaging, that's one,
Yeah.
making sure that it's unique. I didn't go after anybody else's idea. I didn't look at somebody else like what they had. So I always try to keep things unique. And just, I don't know, word of mouth, different videos, different, just standing apart that way, making sure that I give back. And I don't know, I guess that's kind of how I
Well, I
stand
mean,
out.
it works because I was able to find you on YouTube, and I was able to get to link to everything. So the
Mhm.
um, the ability to do that is there. Now, before I get to the students' questions, and we talked about this before as well, and I love asking my guests this
Mhm.
is you did go to HBCU
Mhm.
undergrad, but then went to two PWIs after that, and obviously all three have great things to offer. All three are great schools. Um,
Mhm.
and even though this is Jackson State country, we'll let you make it over there at Prairie View. So, um, but
Please.
but in all seriousness, every place you've been has offered different things,
Mhm.
but they've also had drawbacks as well. So as these kids are getting ready to decide what colleges to go to, what are some of the pros and cons of HBCUs and PWIs, especially two private PWIs, that really have a huge factor in education?
Okay. Very, very loaded. Okay. So I wouldn't trade my HBCU experience for the world. Like I pledged there, I danced there, I was a Black Fox. So with the band, um, it was great. Sometimes when you're in the middle of it, it's like, oh, maybe I should have left and went to a PWI. Like this is, they have more of this, they have more of that. But like even in the time where I was thinking about leaving, and I had so many professors in the biology department specifically that knew who I was. Like I wasn't a number to them. They were very personal with me. Like, come to my office. Like, this is why you shouldn't leave the school. This is why, this is this and this is that. And like really just breaking it down for me, being real people, like the nurturing, the care that they had for me there, like you don't get that anywhere else. Like my PWIs, although I had very good relationships with professors, it's not the same. Like the talking to and they don't care whether you stay or you go. Like, yes, they want you to do well in your classes. If they come and they see you, come into their office hours and doing things like that, but the connection is completely different. The care, the love that they show you, and just making sure that you're heard, you're seen. The time is different. Like the Prairie View was lit. Like hump day in the middle of the day, we're dressing up, we're coming out, there's a DJ, there's all these different things. The food is 1,000% better. Fried chicken Monday, was it fried chicken Monday? And fried fish Friday, please. We were eating good. The cornbread out of this world. Just the culture at a HBCU is completely different. The band, the games, like the entire life is just way different. At my PWIs, I'll go to like Mississippi, like grad school, for instance. It was a Christian school, very strict in that sense. Their homecoming just looked like, oh, this is the homecoming. It's a couple of tents set up. This is sad.
Yeah.
What is what are y'all doing? This is not homecoming. So just very different. But Tufts, my dental school was very diverse. So I did have a great experience there as well. I had a great experience everywhere though.
Yeah, and I know Dr. Baldwin down at MC is one of the authority on getting people into these big schools. I mean, you're not going to find a better biology professor in the country.
No. Yeah.
I've met him a few times, and that guy is just on another level. So I would suggest anybody wanting to go to a big dental school, that MC master's program is one you really need to look at, because that connection, you cannot buy that with him.
Yeah. But people often get it confused that like you have to go to a PWI or it'll give you better opportunity, and that's not true. Like I have so many friends from school that are doctors and lawyers and engineers and just, all these different amazing careers, and the educational program, the education, what is it, department at Prairie View, like so many people became teachers and just a bunch of really cool things. So it's not about, getting a better opportunity somewhere else. And if anything, Prairie View gave me a lot of connections that I wouldn't have had. So
Yeah, and one thing I always say is that historically black doesn't mean exclusively black.
mm,
Just because it was founded for black students does not mean it stays that way. I know all
yeah,
the schools have huge international populations, so you get to meet people from all over the world that you probably wouldn't meet anywhere else.
yep,
And some PWIs as well. I went to LSU and we had 16% of all students were international, which is unbelievable. So it is really an experience to get to meet people from around every continent. So that's really cool. But I'm gonna get to these students' questions. These are all seniors. And they've all come up with their own business concepts. This first one is Shania Charleston, and she asked, "What is the biggest challenge you've had to face as an entrepreneur?"
mm, the losses, and you just have to see them as lessons. But I've lost so much money just, or like not knowing how many things you had to pay for. Like my business is an LLC,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't grow up in a family that taught me about business. I watched some YouTube videos, I read some books, like tried to get everything that I could, but it's still the amount of things you have to pay for and doing taxes, and just you realize how much money goes down the drain when you're actually trying to start something and just getting hit with stuff. So I would just say the losses is like probably the biggest challenge. And then for me, marketing, I hate marketing.
Says the
I,
person that has a YouTube channel.
yeah, I have a YouTube channel. I hate marketing. I hate having to market. Maybe that's it. Cause I post all the time. Like I'll post what I want to post, but to be on a schedule to have to post is not fun for me.
That makes sense. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. And and I know they get sick of me talking about this, but I think it's important for young people. They're so influenced by social media and popular culture. And I'm a huge fan of Jasmine Sullivan, but her song "The Other Side" just drives me insane, because she says in there, "I'm going to move to Atlanta, open a business, and I'll never be broke again." And I'm like, it doesn't work like that. And
Mm-mm.
she's singing that, and yeah, and that's fine. She's a great artist, and I'm a fan. But saying stuff like that, I think it gives people the wrong idea, because that's not the way it works.
Yeah. I think, and they always say the first couple of businesses fail. I had a couple of businesses before this.
Wow.
Yeah, that I oftentimes forget about, but it was so long ago. But I've had different businesses before this, and t-shirt businesses and natural hair businesses and
Oh,
different things that just didn't work out. I didn't know enough, and you gotta, dust yourself off, try again, keep doing it,
well, I can always use a natural hair business. I've been natural for 41 years.
please.
Yeah. I just got a great reaction in the room on that one. All right, this is Miles Woodard, and he asked, "What type of tools or technology have you used to make your business flow smoothly?"
What type of Shopify? Shopify runs my business mostly. Like my tax information, my sales, different marketing tools, different things like that. So I think that's the biggest technology that I've used.
Yeah, and then what type of tools are you using when you make your products for Reen Remedy?
Different than like double broilers and
Okay.
what else do I use? Double broilers, pipettes, different mixers and things like that. Nothing major. I don't have a robot in here doing something.
Well, I mean, but that's a good selling point that you say on there it's all made by hand, and that's true. So
Mm-hmm.
people want that human touch when it comes to something they're putting on their skin. I just got
Yeah.
one of the students. This is Octavia Johnson, and she asked, "What was the biggest mistake you've made as an entrepreneur?"
Mm, the biggest mistake. Biggest mistake. I make mistakes all the time. I'm trying to think of the biggest one. Hmm. What was my biggest mistake? It's probably gonna hit me after this call, but my big one, girl, I mess up all the time. All the time. My biggest mistake, maybe, oh, maybe not getting more help
Yep.
because it's so hard to do this alone, especially I work a ridiculous amount. Like I'm not an associate dentist anymore. Like I actually run a practice. I'm a managing clinical director and I run a lot by myself. So I'm working 12, 13-hour days. So to be doing a lot with my business alone is a lot. Like and every now and again, like I'll hire people for different things. But if I could have like a few like full-time people to really get stuff going the way that I would like it going, I think not doing that is a huge mistake. And I'm still making the mistakes, but that's how you grow and you realize it every single time you make one. So
Well, we're almost out of time, and as always, we just thank you so much for joining us. I mean, it's so cool what you're doing up there, and so many great things to come. But before we go, you're a uh, black female business owner in a very male dominated field, and
mhm.
you're doing all that while you're running another business, and it's just amazing to see. So obviously, you faced a lot of obstacles being a black woman in America. That
Mhm.
I say all the time, it's not fair and it's not right, but we all know it's true. Uh,
Mhm.
so what can these young kids do, and the ones that'll see this later, to overcome those obstacles, even if they don't want to be a dentist, or even they just want to be a
Mhm.
part-time entrepreneur with a side hustle? What are some things they can do to overcome those obstacles to be a successful business owner as well?
Hustle and don't stop every day. Like seriously, I've made it this far. If I made it this far, anybody can make it this far. I didn't have the best grades. I wasn't the smart. I'm very smart, but I wasn't the smartest. I wasn't, I did not work the hardest. I work hard, but there are people that outwork me. But I would say like never quitting. I do not quit. I'm gonna get up and do something every single day, like something to move towards the progress. Even when I don't feel like it, I'm gonna be back in bed, just laying down, looking up something. Like, just don't quit. If you don't quit, like you have no choice but to move forward.
Yeah,
And
nothing,
that's,
nothing in anybody's life changes until you change it yourself.
yep.
Now, before we go, tell us where to find you online. You're a great Instagram follow, great YouTube follow.
Yeah. So I am hit the jackpot _5. That's also my YouTube, hit the jackpot 5. I give, different school advice, different what else do I talk about on there? I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Um, and then my business website is reenremedy.com, REEN remedy.com.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking some time for us. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. And it's been so long since I've seen you. It's good seeing you again.
Hey, always. I'm glad you got to fit us in. I'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Alrighty. Bye. Have a
Yeah.
good one, guys.